So we're looking at human resource management. So this is one of the most practical courses. Those of you who are in HR should be able to relate well with this. So question number one, I'll be as brief as I can. So question number one reads, dynamically discuss 5 causes of gender pay gap in workplaces. Gender pay gap in workplaces. So firstly, what is a gender pay gap? Before we actually answer that question, what is a gender pay gap?
I think a gender pay gap, this is where remuneration of wages or salaries is different between genders, that's female and male. Maybe you find that a male and the female are doing the same job, but a male is paid more than the female.
Exactly, yeah. So when talking about pay gap, a gender pay gap, it's a difference between the average earnings between the two, the men and the women. So this one, in most cases, will disadvantage women. So there are many reasons why we have these pay gaps. Some of the reasons could be occupational segregation. Occupational segregation is one which arises when there's a concentration of men and women. It differs in different jobs. So it refers to concentration of men and women in different types of jobs or industries. So this is typically classified into two. We have what we call the horizontal and the vertical. So the horizontal is one where the segregation is between different jobs together. Then, vertical is where we have different levels of seniority. So there are usually pay gaps that we have. So they come in different ways. Okay. So we want to now analyze why we have these pay gaps, the causes. There are 5 causes of pay gaps. So let's go through them. Number one, we have what we call um, occupational segregation. Occupational segregation. So occupational segregation.
عشان
Make sure you mute yourselves. Happy. The 5 causes of gender gap, pay gap in workplaces. Number one, we have occupational segregation. So women and men often work in different sectors, job types. So female-dominated professions such as teaching or caregiving are typically lower paid compared to male-dominated sectors like engineering and finance. So this is one type. So this is a vertical, and there's a vertical and horizontal segregation, which contributes significantly to these wage disparities. So I was trying to break it down to explain to you to say occupational segregation, it comes about when or it refers to the concentration of men and women in different job types or industries. So we have 2 types. We have classifications of the horizontal segregation, the vertical segregation. So horizontal segregation, it usually sees women and as the proportionally representative. They're more representative into industries like caregiving, teaching, administrative roles. So this tends to be undervalued or underpaid despite their social importance. So we also have vertical segregation, which sees men more frequently occupying leadership roles, even when within females can dominate this. So this division usually brings about such disparities. So we also have the second point where we have the other cause, part-time work and career disruptions. Part-time work and career disruption. Here, women are more likely to work part-time or take career breaks due to caregiving responsibilities. Okay. Can somebody explain further what we mean there? We're looking at the causes of what? Gender pay gap. So there are different types of jobs. So we're looking at part-time and taking care career. So women who often take time off work or choose part-time jobs so that they take care of the family or they'll take care of the children. So this means that they will miss out on a number of experiences like promotions, okay? And as a result, they may not get as much uh, pay in terms of overtime. So men, in this case, are seen to be less likely to take long breaks. So they keep moving up in their job careers fast and promotions come fast. The other cause would be unfair treatment or discrimination. So sometimes women are treated unfairly because they're women. So some employers think women are less committed because of family duties. So women are all offered a lesser pay or they are given fewer promotions than men, even when they are working just as hard. So we call this gender discrimination. The other cause that may come about would be hidden pay information, okay, which comes from this lack of transparency. So in some companies, in countries, workers don't know how much pay. I have a friend who works at a certain school, says we get different pay depending on how much you bargain. So this makes it hard for women to know if they're being underpaid compared to men, despite them doing the same thing. So without clear information, women can't ask for a fair pay. So uh, usually look into policies. The last cause of these differences is that men ask and women don't. So we find situations where men are usually more confident in asking for better pay or promotions. So women who don't usually not ask because of fear of being seen to be rude or pushy. So this means men will get more just because uh, they asked. So in short, we are just discussing to say gender pay gap will occur because of different kinds of jobs that women and men do, the time that men and women spend away from work, unfair treatment, the secretive pay systems, and also men being more confident in asking for a better pay. I hope that is clear. So this is on that point. We go to the second point. Briefly analyze claims for equal pay, which may be supported by uh, a completed equal pay grounds. Briefly analyze the claims for equal pay, which may be supported by a completed equal pay grounds. Anyone answer that part? Question number 2. Briefly analyze claims for what are some of the claims for which one can stand for equal pay and which can be or which are supported by equal pay grounds. What are some of them that we know? We discussed this, those that came in the first class. I think I talked about remuneration being part of the human resource function. So, okay, so what are equal pay claims? When we're talking about equal pay claims, we mean equal pay that men and women should get the same pay when they do the same or similar work. So a person can make a claim for equal pay if they believe that somebody of the opposite sex is getting more money for doing the same job. So there are three main grounds or reasons for equal pay claim. The first one is like work. Like work, this means that when a man and a woman are doing the same or similar job, their duties are more or less the same. For instance, two cashiers in ShopRite, they're working at the till. So if one gets more because of sex, then it may be grounds for which you can claim for unfair pay. So you can claim that. The other one is work-related equivalence. So sometimes jobs are compared using a system, which is called a job evaluation scheme. So this scheme will check how much effort the job requires and what skills are required and what responsibilities. So here, if the system shows that these two jobs are equal, but the woman is being paid less, then it will be substantiated in terms of claim that she can claim for equal pay. All right, are we following? The other one is work of equal value. Work of equal value. So work of equal value, even if jobs are different, a claim can be made if the roles of equal value in terms of demand, such as effort, skill, and decision, are similar. So this means that if we have two jobs that look very different, but they may still require, number one, the same level of skill, number two, the same amount of effort, number three, same decision-making responsibilities. For instance, we have a female cleaner and a male warehouse assistant, okay? They might not do the same jobs, but these jobs are equally demanding. So they should also claim to be paid fairly, all right? So in short, what have we said? What is needed to support a claim? We need to prove an equal pay claim. So employees must bring evidence like number one, job descriptions, the pay slips, job evaluation results, witness or workplace policies. So this is how this could be answered. All right. So let's go to another question. Question number 2. Have we done part C? Discuss how an employer can prove to a tribunal that discuss how an employer can prove to a tribunal that the causes of difference in pay are not discriminatory. Okay, how can one prove that? So this is a little bit legal. How can one prove to a tribunal that the causes of difference in pay are not discriminatory? So we are looking at it from you being an employer. Okay. So number one, here are some of cases on the other side. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So when a worker claims they're being given an equal pay, the employer must also prove that the difference is not because of gender. So the employer should also show that the difference is due to a genuine reason. So in law, we call this a genuine material factor, GMF, which has nothing to do with either being male or being female. So there are some of the points that an employer can use to defend themselves in a tribunal during a legal hearing. So number one, there's what we call objective what? Justification. So objective justification is simply the reason for the pay difference. It must be real, it must be fair, it must make sense. For instance, if one worker is paid more because of skill shortage or market rate for the job is higher than expected, okay? But must not be based on assumption of gender. So the employer can prove the reason uh, is necessary and not excessive. So you can do that. For me, I run uh, lodges. So there's a certain discrimination that I put for the same waiters and housekeepers, we call them. Others are experienced, others, there's a certain skill they have, others have gone to school, others, they're just mates. So each of them that works there doesn't know how much they get. So the difference comes in because of the skill, the difference in how each person puts effort. So this can be justified. Yes, there's a dispute to say, how come this person gets more? So as an employer, you can give justification. So these are some of the justifications that we talked about. Sometimes it could be shortage of skill, certain skill. Sometimes the rate that the market calls for could be different. So these are some of the points that may have. The second one is transparency. The employer should clearly explain how pay decisions are made. It may include you showing records, salary records, or promotion criteria, or you can also show some recruitment notes. So everything should be open and honest. Sometimes things that are hidden become a problem. Consistency is another point. So employers must use the same rules for both men and women. For instance, if they give a pay rise or one extra experience, they must use the same standard for everyone. So if rules are only applied to one gender, it will now call for discrimination. The other point will be job evaluation system. So if a company uses a proper job evaluation system, a way of showing the scoring for jobs based on skills and efforts, so they can use it to show. So if jobs are not of equal value, jobs way more important than the other, that can be done. Any questions? Are we together? So the last part that you can use to prove is the no discriminatory effect. The no discriminatory effect. So even if there's reasons that sounds fair, the employer must check that it does not affect one gender more than the other. So if it does, they must prove that this is the only fair way to achieving something important for business. So this in law is called a proportionate means to a legitimate aim. So we've talked about these key points. Number one, say to defend against an equal pay claim, the employer must, number one, show a real and fair reason for the pay difference. Number two, provide clear records to support the decision. Number three, show fair treatment for both men and women, and also a valid job evaluation if used. Okay, and the policy must show that they don't harm one gender more than the other. So these are some of the points that we should look through. All right. So any questions so far? Any questions so far?
Yes, Mr. Collins. I'm trying to wrap my head around this GMF. How can you best explain it in simple terms? GMF.
You are not very audible.
GMF. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but I can't seem to grasp it. How can you best explain it in simple terms? What is it? GMF, genuine material factor?
You're asking the acronyms GMF, what they stand for?
No, I know the acronyms, but I'm trying to understand what it's all about. How can you best explain it in simple terms?
Okay. So who wants to try that before I come in? We talked about the principle of GMF. Okay. GMF, which is the genuine material factor. So GMF is a valid reason that one can give for a pay difference. It has nothing to do with the sex of the employee. So GMF is usually based on objective and not on job-related factors. So there are a lot of examples that we can use where GMF employers can use to defend themselves. So GMF is a genuine material factor. There are a lot of factors. You can use experience or qualifications to say if one person has more relevant experience or better qualifications, the employer can pay them more. A GMF factor can be on performance, but if one employee is consistently performing higher than the others, they're paying more. In terms of seniority, so GMF factor, where you can say the longer serving employees get higher salaries. Okay. You can look at market forces, different job responsibilities, all those fall under what? GMF.
Thank you. It's clear now.
Okay. So we go to, I think we're done with question number 1. Okay. So we go to question number 2. Question number 2, analyze. Okay, so we'll look at, due to time, we'll look at question number 2 later on in the afternoon. So let's finish this 2016 paper. Most of the questions are recurring in principle. So I think on question number 1, covered quite a number. I'll end here.